feels like a diary.
Hi boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Lot G Diary. Today is episode 20 and it's actually the final episode of Lot G Season 1. I know it's sad times, but has to come to a close, and today I'm going to be doing a season recap, looking back throughout the season and telling you what my personal opinions and thoughts are and being truthful and honest about it. If you're new to the channel or you've missed some of the episodes throughout the season, go onto my channel and click on the Lot G Season 1 playlist and you can watch all the videos throughout the season recapping all of our games. So our season and the first video of Lot G Season 1 started with a game against my ex-university D1 team, Missouri State University. Now this happened in a preseason game that was about 1 month before our actual conference started. It was the only preseason game we could play due to COVID restrictions, stuff like that. So it was a good test for us, especially considering Missouri State had just come off the back of a season where they went 18-0, staying unbeaten in their normal regular season. So it was a great test for us to really see where we are, and also a bit of a derby because we're both in the same city. It was the first time that the two teams had played for a very long time, so it was a good game. And we performed pretty well in the game. Considering we'd only had about a week of pre-season compared to their month or so, we only lost the game 2-0 all in all. However, it was 1-0 when we had sort of the both starting teams on the pitch. And although we did lose the game, I'd say the boys were pretty happy with the way that we performed, considering all those factors. From a personal standpoint, I was pretty pleased with how I performed. Considering it was my old team, I thought I did quite well. Didn't really let in much down my left side or right side for them. And yeah, it was all in all a good performance, an annoying result, however a good start to the season. Then about a month later we had the opener for the conference, and that was against William Jewell. We went into this game playing 4 at the back. I was starting left back, happy to be starting in the team, and we went and won the game 2-0 despite not really performing to our best ability in the first half. However, a win's a win and it's a good start to the season. Our second game of the season was against Rockhurst, a team that we've notoriously had trouble playing against. However, we really thought we could do something this year, and they weren't in the top of their form. We absolutely dominated the game, again playing a 4 at the back formation where I was playing left back. We really just played them off the park, but we couldn't score, and they ended up getting us on a counter-attack, probably one of their only shots during the game, and they scored and they won 1-0. A very disappointing result considering our performance was so good. Again, my personal performance, I thought I played well. I thought the whole team played well in that Rockhurst game, and it was very annoying to lose that one. It should have been another 3 points. After that game we played SBU, Southwest Baptist University, and that was away at their place, our first away game of the season. And again in the first half we started really well. We got 2 goals and were 2-0 up within about the first 20 minutes. Trevor hit an absolute rocket. It was a great goal from him. Like literally pretty much got nothing to do on my corner because it was just pure technique. Great goal, and also Jamie scored a header, lobbed the keeper. I'm not sure what the keeper was doing on that one. You're going to have to go and watch the video to see that. But first half was amazing. We were playing really good football. Second half we completely dropped off, and they managed to get one back. And really they had quite a few people in the crowd there, and I know it sounds silly when you're playing at college, but it actually did make quite a difference, and they had a lot more momentum than we did. We held on and we got the 2-1 win, but it really felt like a loss considering our second half performance. But again, 3 points, not much to complain about. Now the weekend after that we had a double away game weekend. The first game was against Missouri S&T and we played it in the rain. Again, personally I think we dominated them. We played well in the game and really should have put away some chances and should have won the game. It went to extra time or overtime, golden goal in the US, and they scored. One of us didn't track our runners from midfield and they've got an easy cross in and they scored a golden goal. So they scored the winner and got the win over us. Another game that we should have won. So that's 2, the Rockhurst and the S&T game that we easily could have won, but we didn't manage to, and we came away with no points from either of those games. Up until this point we'd been playing a 4 at the back formation, and I'd started every game at left back and played 90 minutes in every single game. Personally I thought my performances were good. However, as a team we weren't playing great, and at that point we were 2-2 for the season, so some changes had to be made. So going into the Sunday game, I think we had about literally 10 changes to the team, and we were going in against Maryville, who at that point were ranked about 5th in the nation for D2, so they were going to be a very big game. So the game didn't start great. Within about 15 minutes they'd scored a goal off a free kick, and then things started to change. I got subbed on about 20 minutes in, I believe, or maybe even less, and we ended the half pretty strong, and we managed to get an equaliser just before half time. Going into the second half, we really had our share of possession and stuff, but they managed to get a second goal, and it was actually down my side. A ball got pinged over, the kid was pretty quick, but I managed to get to him and stuck with him delayed him for quite a while, but then didn't manage to block his cross. I personally thought it was a pretty weak cross. However, a striker got on the end of it and they scored, and it was coming down my side, so I've got to put my hand up and take the blame maybe on that one. And then shortly after that, they got a free kick and they whipped it in, top bins. It was a good free kick, 3-1 at that point. They then managed to grab one back later on in the game. However, we lost that game 3-2. It's a poor result considering I felt that we were really in the game and we could have at least got a draw. And that is the first time when we changed to a 3 formation at the back, and really that's when I started to get weeded out the team a little bit in this stage of the season. So the next game we played was against Lindenwood, and we bounced back very strong. We won that game 5-1. Lindenwood made a lot of sort of individual errors, I think, and we sort of just took advantage of those errors. I came on twice in the game. Like in American soccer, you can get subbed on and subbed back off. So I got on the pitch twice in that game. Both cases thought I did a good job. I got an assist to an assist, essentially. I put a ball into our striker who took a shot and we scored from the rebound. So I thought I did alright when I came on in those spells. Obviously they weren't really threatening much, but they did score that one goal. I wasn't actually on the field for when we conceded that goal, but it was a bit of a shame to lose that clean sheet. So that weekend we had a second game against Umsal on the Sunday. I unfortunately didn't get on the pitch against Umsal. However, we did manage to win in overtime thanks to an Adem free kick late on, very clutch from him. You all know he's a baller if you've been watching the series. That next weekend we played against McKendry, who the last season had been in the top 25 teams, D2 in the country, so it's going to be a big game, and we always have big games against them. I didn't play in this game at all, but the boys played an amazing game, and we actually again got a win in overtime thanks to a Jade goal. He dribbles through about 3 players and scores. It's a very good goal and a great performance from the boys. We actually came back in that game to win it, so very happy for the boys. 3 wins on the bounce from 3 games, playing 3 at the back, so that is a positive thing for us. And it was sort of the same for me. Yeah, I wasn't getting played, but I can't really complain. The boys are playing really well and getting results, so what can you do? So the second game of that weekend was away against Southern Indiana, and we won that game 2-0. I got subbed on late in the second half. Just did my job really. What we were doing was defending a 2-0 lead, and we managed to do that and keep the clean sheet. It was an extremely windy day, and in that second half we had the wind going against us, so it was quite hard, but we managed it. So thanks to a goal from Azza and thanks to a goal from Josh, we managed to get our 4th win on the bounce. The season was looking up. We are looking good. Then that next weekend we played Indianapolis. Now Indianapolis were ranked 2nd in the nation at some point this season. They're a very strong side, and we actually played really well against them. In fact, I believe we could have at least drawn, if not won. The game finished 2-1. They scored from a corner and they scored from a penalty. We also had 2 penalties in the game and only scored 1, so we should have at least drawn 2-2 if we had converted our chances. It was a shame considering they were top of the table at the point. It was a very tough game. Unlucky result from the boys. Unfortunately, I didn't play any minutes in this game at all. Obviously, it's annoying because they're one of the best teams in the conference, and obviously you want to play every game, but especially those big games. So from an individual point, frustration, but it was off the back of 4 wins on the trot, playing the same sort of team in that 3 at the back formation, so I couldn't really complain, didn't really have a leg to stand on. Now we go on to Sunday, and it was the second game of that weekend. We played Lewis Flyers, who were actually probably one of the best teams I think we played this season. They had a great spine in the team, they had some very solid players. And I didn't start this one, and we started with 3 at the back, and we really just capitulated. The boys we went 3-0 down, and we it felt like the team had called it quits by half time. If you go back and watch that vlog, you can tell the feeling and the attitude after the game wasn't positive. It was really sad. I did get subbed on in that game, but at that point it was 3-0 down already. Really not much you could do. So yeah, not a good day, and the start of a bad downward spiral for us. So on the back of that poor weekend against those 2 very good teams, we played away to University of Illinois Springfield. Now in this game, we started with a 3 at the back formation. We started pretty poorly. They were on top of us and had about 6 chances, I think. If you go back and watch that video, they had a lot of chances very early on. They managed to miss all of them, or Yannick saved us on a lot of occasions. And the manager made the call to go back to a 4 at the back formation, and I got subbed on with it about 20 minutes into the game. Now I thought I played really well when I came on. I thought I did my job and I was getting forward and helping us attack. And I stayed on throughout the half and until about the 70th minute in that game. So after I got subbed off, we missed a couple of chances, they missed a couple of chances, and it went to overtime. Unfortunately, even though we saved a penalty in extra time, or Yannick saved a penalty in extra time, we didn't manage to take our chances once again, and they got a goal, a golden goal, at the back post from one of their most unlikely players probably to score, and we lost that game. So that was 3 losses on the bounce. Very, very devastating, and we had to ask ourselves serious questions about what we were doing at this point in the season, because at this point it was getting worrying whether we were going to make it into the conference tournament spots or not. So after the loss against Illinois Springfield, the second game of the weekend was against Quincy, and we didn't get a good result of this game either. It actually finished 5-2. It was an odd game because we were in it. I think it was 2-2 at halftime or 1-1, but they scored and we get an equaliser. They scored again, we got an equaliser. So it was a very tight game until a certain point, and then they just took off and got a couple goals, and it just didn't end well for us at all. I didn't start this game. I thought maybe I'd done enough against Illinois Springfield to start. I didn't. Again, understand the decision. We started with 3 at the back. Maybe that played into the decision. And yeah, it was just an unfortunate day to lose 5-2, to be on the receiving end of a game like that is really frustrating, especially when you can't do much about it. I did get subbed on late in the game and really just didn't have much time, but I also didn't really do much when I did have the time, so not much I can say there. So that is 4 losses in the last 4 games, and that is where our season pretty much fell apart. We put ourselves in a position where we couldn't make the conference tournament, and yeah, it was not good. And that brings us to the final game of the season. That was against Truman State at home. We went to win that game 4-2. It should have been 4-0, but a handball was given an easy penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty. They scored from that, and they also scored from a deflected goal. So very annoying to concede those. We actually played 4 at the back for that final game of the season, and I started left back, played the full 90 minutes. Was pretty happy with the performance until we conceded those 2 goals, and to be honest, if we're going to try and do anything, we need to make sure we're keeping clean sheets. So it was very frustrating to concede a deflection and a penalty late on in the game. So that is the season recap. Now, my personal thoughts on the season. Obviously not happy that we didn't make it into the conference tournament. It would have been great to make it there and see what we could do against those top 8 teams. In fact, I think we should have made it. Like, we've definitely got the ability as a team to do that. We just fell apart for too many games in the season, didn't get the results. So yeah, definitely frustration that we didn't make it there, and we ended up 9th in the league. Now, I think I played well in the games that I played. Not amazing, some games were pretty average. However, it's a long season, and it's the first time I've played a season since I've been in America, and playing those 2 games in a weekend can be quite tiring. Obviously, when I wasn't getting played, it was frustration, but it's hard. You know, you're part of a team. That does happen to players, and I was lucky to be getting those opportunities to get on the pitch and get subbed on and try and prove myself. I believe that when I did get subbed on, I was playing well and I was trying to prove myself. I thought I put in some good performances, but it is what it is. You know, football is a game of opinions, and it's a game of sometimes making the right decisions, sometimes making the wrong decisions on both the player's perspective and a coach's perspective. So there's no bad blood. Like, I completely understand it wasn't a good season for any of us. We're all pretty frustrated with the season. So we've just got to look up and get on with what we can control and go into next season strong and as a team. So that is the season recap. Again, if you guys have missed any of the episodes, make sure you go over to that playlist and check it out. It's got all the games from the season, from the Lot G Season 1, so make sure you check them out. Much love, appreciate all the support that you guys seem to have loved this series, and it's coming back in the fall in a couple of months. Alright, so that is going to be it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this season recap, and I hope you've enjoyed this whole series of Lot G Season 1. If you have, please smash that like button, comment down below your favourite part from the series, and also make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're sticking around, because this summer there's going to be a lot of different content and stuff you're going to enjoy, but that is going to be it for this video. Remember, do it for the love of the game. I'll see you later. Peace.